Let's talk about an ancient Egyptian god who is very obviously a god of fertility. This is part 67 of the Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt, and this is the god Min, or Minu. While this comment did suggest I talk about the god Ka-Mut-F, that's actually not a god, but an epithet of the god Amun-Min. This is obviously a combination between the gods Amun and Min, and I haven't covered the latter mostly because I don't want my video to get taken down. But let's go over it. The god Min has origins in the pre-dynastic period in two locations in Upper Egypt, Coptos and the aptly named Akhmin. A reference in the pyramid text, "He whose arm is raised in the east," is thought to have actually referred to this god. His importance grew in the Middle Kingdom, where he became closely linked with the god Horus, sometimes referring to him as Min Horus. And then later in the New Kingdom, he was fused with Amun, again becoming Amun Min. In the Greco-Roman period, he's actually identified with the god Pan. He is mainly seen as a god of fertility, which doesn't always just refer to the reproduction of children. In Egypt, fertility was extremely important when it comes to agriculture and making a bountiful harvest. This is mainly because the ancient Egyptians relied on the yearly flood to be able to grow their crops. And so, if the flood did not come, and thus the land was not fertilized by the water, then they would starve. In ancient Egypt, when it comes to reproduction, fertility is never solely associated with women. The god is typically depicted as a male deity wearing the crown of feathers and holding a flail in one hand and holding his other hand above his head, and he usually has an erect phallus. He is also depicted wearing a tight-fitting white robe, which is associated with the god Osiris in that it could be mummification wrappings, but it has also been associated with a ceremony meant for pharaohs to prove their strength in celebration of their 30 years on the throne. He is also sometimes depicted with black skin or green skin, both of which are associated with fertility, and the dark soil of the Nile, and doesn't actually reflect the skin tones of a god. One other symbol that is often associated with the god Min but not depicted is lettuce. This appears most often in texts associated with the god Min, and the ancient Egyptians apparently believed that it was an aphrodisiac. It apparently was a tall, straight variety that released a sap when it was rubbed, and so you can see why it was associated with Min and was offered to him as a offering. Next time, let's talk about a primordial god in which all other gods supposedly came from.